States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we thank you for this opportunity to come together, and we ask your guidance and wisdom on us tonight as we make decisions for the county. We ask your blessings on the men and women in law enforcement and in the military, that you'll be with them and keep them safe. All this we pray in Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, we'll do a roll call.
Chris.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yep.
Al.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Robert.
Here.
Marge. Yes. Ray.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Terry. Yes.
Okay, in your packets, you received the minutes from the last meeting. And, you went over that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I make a motion.
I second.
Yeah, motion second.
Chris.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Al.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Marge. Yes. Ray.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Terry. Yes.
Okay, next is the clerk's report. You have, had that in your packet, and so I will entertain a motion to accept the clerk's report.
I make a motion to accept the clerk's report.
Second.
Motion second.
Dennis.
Yes.
Al.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Marge. Yes. Ray.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Terry. Yes. Chris.
Yes. Okay, next up is the treasurer's report. If there are no questions, no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I make a motion.
I'll second. Okay, a motion second.
Al.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Marge. Yes. Ray.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Terry. Yes. Chris.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes. Okay, we're sliding right through this, so, first up, we're gonna go through a little bit of old business, just a few minutes. First off is to update you on the courthouse renovations. Providence Construction's been working on that second floor, and they're doing a lot of good work there, I know. Anyway, but it's coming along pretty good, real nicely. They've got the sheet rock up. I've got, in a couple of weeks, the guys will be here to take out the old elevator and replace it with a new elevator. And then they'll do the flooring and the rest of that stuff, electrical, the heat and air vents and all that. It's gonna be really nice. Next thing is the fuel system. We finally got our fuel tanks installed. That was a chore. We did that, I think, Wednesday and Thursday of last week. Got the fuel management system in. We're just waiting on one pulser on one of the nozzles, and then we'll be able to be completely functional with that. Our radio system's been fully installed. From all indications, it's working perfectly, very clear. The hospital's got theirs installed. Everybody's on the same sheet of music with the radio system.
Are all fire departments on now?
All fire departments with the exception of 9 Mile Ridge, and they ordered theirs.
Okay. They're typically not paged from this fire department.
That's true, yeah.
From this 911, we're usually out of the chart taker.
Right. Okay. With that, anybody have any questions, any further questions on those 3 items? Okay. Next thing is the Fulton County, the Baxter Health, Fulton County Hospital, lease that we're gonna discuss. We have a resolution from the Board of Governors for the hospital, completely in support of the lease. And so before you, you have a copy of the lease, and we're gonna read the ordinance. Yes.
Be it enacted by the Court of Fulton County, County of Fulton, Be it enacted by the Corn Court of the County of Fulton County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance approving the assignment and lease agreement to Fulton County Hospital to Baxter Health Fulton County Hospital, and prescribing other matters relating thereto. Whereas the Board of Governors of Fulton County Hospital, Board of Governors has constructed, maintained, expanded, and operated a hospital facility in Salem, Arkansas, currently known as Fulton County Hospital for many years. And whereas the Board of Governors has determined that it is in the best interest of the citizens of Fulton County that the hospital be leased to a community-based nonprofit organization. And whereas, following publication of required notice, a public hearing was conducted before the Fulton County Judge and Fulton County Corn Court, and it appears clearly to be in the interest of the county that the county enter into the proposed lease agreement. Whereas the Corn Court has determined that certain significant benefits will occur to the citizens of Fulton County from such a lease arrangement. And whereas an assignment and lease agreement lease between Baxter Health, Fulton County Hospital, Baxter Health, an Arkansas nonprofit corporation, and Fulton County has been proposed, hereby Baxter Health would lease the hospital.
First, use your fingerprint.
Baxter Health would lease the hospital facilities and grounds and assume responsibility for hospital as a going concern. And whereas the Corn Court has determined that such lease would provide for an orderly transition of control of the hospital, assure continued local control of the hospital, increase financing and operating options open to the hospital, allow expansion of health-related activities other than inpatient care, and result in other benefits not mentioned herein to the citizens of Fulton County. Now therefore be it enacted by the Corn Court of Fulton County, Arkansas. Article 1. The lease for the hospital between Fulton County is leaser and Baxter Health Fulton County Hospital is leasee. Attached hereto as Exhibit A is hereby approved, and the county judge is authorized and directed to execute, and the county clerk authorized to attest the execution of said lease. Article 2. The county judge and the county clerk for and on behalf of the county are hereby authorized and directed to do any and all things necessary to effect the execution and delivery of the lease and the performance of any obligations of the county thereunder. The county judge and county clerk are authorized and directed for and on behalf of the county to execute all papers, documents, certificates, and other instruments that may be required for the carrying out of such authority or purposes or to evidence the exercise thereof. Article 3. Baxter Health shall have no authority to assign the lease without the prior written approval and consent of the county. Article 4. The term of the lease shall begin on January 1, 2025. Article 5. All ordinances and resolutions or parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Article 6. The provision of this ordinance are hereby declared to be severable in the event any section, provision, or part hereof shall be held to be invalid. Such invalidity shall not affect the remainder of the ordinance. Article 7. It is found and determined by the Corn Court of Fulton County that there is need of the citizens of Fulton County to receive continued public health, safety, and welfare, and that this ordinance is immediately necessary because there is a need to ensure continued operation of a hospital in Fulton County. Therefore, an emergency is declared to exist, and that this ordinance being immediately necessary for the preservation and continuation of a hospital should become effective on the date of its approval by the Corn Court as noted below.
Okay, I need a motion to suspend the rules and put it on the second reading by title only.
No, first we gotta do a motion for the first reading.
Do we have a copy of that? I can't find a copy of that. If we get a copy of that,
Of what?
of what you just read.
The ordinance? You not make a copy for everybody?
It's not in our packet.
Nobody has one?
We have a copy of the lease, but not the ordinance.
No.
So,
So is this an emergency because we need to vote, they need to move forward tonight?
That's right. So that the hospital can continue to run unabated.
Well, I mean, as I understand it, they need to take it to the Baxter board soon, or to move.
That is correct. What we're trying to do is, the Baxter board meets next week, so we'll take it to the Baxter board next Wednesday, the 28th. And we're trying to get it signed by the 29th or by March 1st, so that the ARPA money, the other 2.5 million, can come into this.
Okay. And that won't happen until the agreement's signed by both sides?
That's correct. That is correct. The agreement has, the way for lack of a better word, the way the rules were kind of set out by the state on the ARPA money was, we would need to, get this agreement signed. And we talked with them, they're fine if it doesn't actually go into effect till January 1st, but they would like a commitment now in March to be able to get the ARPA money.
Okay, I had a question, and I'm just, sorry, I'm only on page 4 of the lease agreement, so I don't know, it's probably in here somewhere. Someone had asked me if the agreement's terminated, the building and the equipment stay with the hospital, does that also include supplies, pharmacy and things like that? Is that in here as well?
Yes, yes it is, yes, that is. Just trying, I had to think through that, but yes.
So if we pass the ordinance, then that means we're ready to sign the lease
Yeah,
and
that's
fill in the
correct.
blanks on this. And I'm assuming we'd fill in the blanks on today's date.
I would assume
On
so.
most of them.
Sure.
What ordinance number is it?
It'll be 2024-03.
2024 what?
03, 2024-03.
I'll make the motion to.
I'll second.
We got a motion second.
Gary?
I would like to read this before I vote to approve it. Can we take a recess or something to do that, or before we vote? I mean, like I say, I'm on page 5 now, but
Okay,
before I vote on something, I'd kinda like to know what all is in it, at least look over it.
all right, not a problem. We'll just take a,
I move for a 10-minute recess.
we'll take a 10-minute recess.
Okay, thank you. understand it, this will continue to operate as a county hospital, so when the appointment comes up for, was it June or July that we do the next board appointment? That would,
Yeah, it's normally June.
June, so that would come through the quorum board too? Yeah,
It's my understanding
The present board will
you'll dissolve.
continue,
Well,
it won't,
okay.
it will continue, and you'll make appointments annually to fill whatever vacancy comes
as
up.
always, okay. And I'm assuming y'all will work together on coming up with some good nominations or something?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Any further questions? Gary?
That's all I've heard.
Chris?
I guess I probably wanna ask Dwayne for some clarification on the board. I was under the impression we were forming a new board in July.
Your organization will have a new board.
Yes.
The state law requires the old board to continue unless you elect to turn it over to the county, and as far as I know, the present board hasn't elected to do that.
Gotcha.
So you'll have the Fulton County Hospital Board overseeing as lessor, and your new board will be the lessee
Gotcha.
of the new
Yes.
organization.
Okay.
So you'll actually have two boards involved, whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
But it's legal, either way, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was kind of one of the concerns I had, is how do we walk that line and keep it a county hospital and do that?
The existing board will become more or less a caretaker board, because they won't be involved in the daily operation of the facility. But they still will oversee it, much like the quorum court, is supposed to oversee the present board as far as getting reports and status from time to time. So that, you just add another layer.
And I will nominate only the finest candidate to sit on the board.
Not only the finest
Like
candidates that
Richardson.
you can get to agree to be on the board. You know where the new board would meet, would they meet in Baxter, or would they meet here, or?
You know, we honestly haven't talked about that. I would guess that we might rotate some, but I would like to try to have as many as we could out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this board would still continue to meet here in Gosnell? Okay.
So Dwayne, does this look all right to you? Does it okay to you?
It meets the requirements of the law, yes. We've worked on several different revisions getting it where I like it and they like it at the same time.
Okay, any further discussion, any further questions? Okay, I'll offer the,
We have a motion.
motion, we got a second?
Second.
And this is the ordinance for the first reading of the
Yes.
hospital ordinance 2024-03. Gary,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Marge,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yeah.
Al.
Yes.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to suspend the rules.
Yeah,
What am I missing?
we gotta read the title.
But we'll suspend the rules and
To
we'll
read
read the title on
by
this
title
one.
only.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
And I second
Got
that.
a motion and a second.
An ordinance approving the assignment and lease agreement of Fulton County Hospital to Baxter Health, Fulton County Hospital, and prescribing other matters relating thereto. Robert,
Yes.
Marge,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Yeah, can a motion to suspend the rules and do a third reading by title only.
So moved.
I
Second.
second.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
An ordinance approving the assignment and lease agreement of Fulton County Hospital to Baxter Health, Fulton County Hospital, and prescribing other matters relating thereto. Marge,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
All right, ordinance adopted. Very good.
Dwayne, do we need a motion to accept that ordinance? The passage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the ordinance?
I make a motion.
I second.
Motion second.
Ray,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Marge.
Yes.
Okay, now ordinance accepted, all right. Very, very good, we got that done. Wonderful.
Judge,
Yes.
can I just say, on behalf of Baxter Health, we really appreciate putting our trust in us, and our goal is to work with you and to make sure that we're serving the people here in Fulton County. So, thank you so much. We're excited, and we just want to continue to grow the healthcare services here, so thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, to everybody, okay, this is a big deal, and, it's for the betterment of Fulton County, our hospital, our employees, and all the way around, so we appreciate you guys and everything.
Thank you. Thanks.
And yes.
Okay, next up, we'll move on. Okay, I need to talk about the latest legislative audit in 2022. With basically no major findings whatsoever. It was just noted that some expenditures from two special revenue funds, the Arkansas Department of Economic Development and Hospital Improvement Grant, were not budgeted in accordance with. And that was it. And I did a reply by endorsement on this back last month, okay? And that was it. We had a good audit for 2022. Last year's will be coming up in like July. We'll start on that. Okay, next up would be, this ice storm and this snow, we got hammered. Our roads got hammered, it fell out, terrible. And so I declared a disaster area for the county and sent that to ADEM. And basically what that enables us to do is get some reimbursements from the material and the effort that we're putting on the road, putting everything back together. And I realize, our road department, they've been working really, really hard, since about the third week of January. Well, they've been working hard up till then, but now it was kind of double time for them. And, they've made a lot of improvements on the road, but there's still a lot more to be done. We realize that, some roads, we're gonna get to them, okay? And so, that's all I really have to say about that, okay?
Is this for 85,000 or,
Well, that's what I estimated, it'd have to be over 53,000, okay, in order to enact it. And I'm quite certain we're gonna go over that amount, we may go over 85 grand, But there's a process, it's taking pictures of the place before and after, and then, itemizing the material and the labor and everything that goes into it. The last time, we declared an emergency was 2022, and it actually spent like 113,000, and we actually got reimbursed for only 31,000 of it. So, I don't, depends on the packet that we submit, I would imagine, depends on how much percentage we get reimbursed.
So where does this money come from? Is it federal or
It's state, it's ADM, yeah.
Arkansas? Where's that?
Okay. And also, I just to let you know, last year I did a rural road grant on Old Sturkey Road. I'm fixing to submit another one for Timberline Road at Sycamore Creek. And that is probably the worst road in the county. And we're gonna put some attention on that one, okay?
Is that down to Michael's?
That's correct, yes.
That's like a creek goes down through.
That's right, the road is a creek bed.
Yeah.
Yep. And, So next, we'll talk, we'll let, the coroner has a report. Steve, would you like to come up?
I just wanted to visit with you. I've been coroner for 25 years. Not a real glorious job, but we try to do our best. And I pretty much for 25 years ran it out of the funeral home. I had a little bit of salary and health insurance given to me. But besides that, the equipment I've received is a cooler and one cot. I didn't get the cot until after my building burned a couple of years ago. Everything else pretty much comes through my place. And it's just decided we're gonna, time to change. And you all don't have to do a thing if you don't want to. I can go home. That's one proposition. Another, you can put in a coroner's office and get me a vehicle and all the supplies that need to go in it. Or the other one, I can run it through my place like I have been, but I want some money for it. And me and both of my deputy coroners are certified through the state. And there's a deal on the second page, if you're certified, you're supposed to get a little boost in salary. That's never been attended to, Kenny come to me and talked to me about some possibilities maybe on a place here in town. But, one of the things that I wanted to discuss about that is that would be good in some ways, but not good in some ways. And for lack of a better way of saying it, I've talked to Albert about this. Sometimes we pick up bodies that have quite an odor. And that's not just an odor for one room. We've had times our whole building has had that odor, and we've had to figure out how to deal with it. That would be a problem in town if we did that. Because that odor don't just contain to one little room, it goes everywhere. I just wanted to share a few things with you. Y'all can take that and talk about it. You can let me know what you all think, and then we'll figure something out. Any questions?
I would like to know, exactly how much more money, why are you looking for? This figure over here
Which figure?
on the back page?
No, can go up to that.
Yeah, but exactly what?
Well, my salary right now is the one at the very top.
I know, yeah, I've seen that, but
Mhm.
what are you looking for in the future? What would you like in,
Well, I don't know, that'd be for y'all to discuss and see what, like I said, I've showed a couple of different possibilities there. For me, yeah, it's handy for me to have everything in my building,
yes,
but there's cost involved. And I've always ate those costs, and the county has no funds for paupers, right?
Right.
So I ate that. I'm not gonna let somebody just lay somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's come through me.
So while we've been not doing the off thing, I know,
We hadn't done poppers
Never
in
done.
yeah, we had.
years. It's been a long time. I don't think since I've been clerk. I know that.
Since I've been in the business, I've always been told there's not a fund.
Right.
Maybe before, I think that's when the other guy before you, I remember back years ago we did.
But not very.
The only
many.
thing that we have funds available for, and Albert and I kinda set this up, if a body is sent for autopsy, the family should not be responsible for getting that body back to Salem, to Hardy, wherever it's coming back to. And we just come up with a $200 one-time payment each time that happens to whichever funeral home is taking care of that body, to get the body back from Little Rock. Because they will come and get the body, they do not pay to send it back.
How many times a year do you have somebody come through that comes through under poppers or that's not paid for? Do you have any idea?
Probably 3 or 4 times a year. And that, you know, it varies, it might be more than that one year and less the next.
I think one thing we need to think about too as a county is, you know, you're not gonna be the coroner for life, you know? So, I mean, we need to be looking at either fixing us a little corner building, maybe out here by the jail or something, you know, and put for a morgue, I guess, a county morgue, and some sort of vehicle.
Either that or some stated, here's whoever's the coroner gets this so much support, this kind of support.
That's why I tried to do a couple of different propositions on that.
You know, I mean, how big a building, 30 by 30, 25 by 30?
Yeah, cause you'd be good to have a little corner in one office in one corner and
Yep.
room
For
to,
your cooler,
room to work on other stuff.
and then, garage door maybe to pull the corner wagon in, and that way when you have to go out on a call, and it's not iced over. You know? you
You're
pull in.
almost gonna have to have 2 buildings. You're not gonna have to have 2 buildings. Cause I've been to hundreds with you, and I'm telling you right now, when you put a decomposed body in a building, nothing else can be in
You
there.
don't wanna be in there.
Cause it's worse than anything else. I mean, it's bad, and I hate to say that, Bill, but it just is. Cause I have many times, after being with this man, had to go home, take all my clothes off on the back porch, shoes and all, and immediately go into a shower, and in some instances, I never got smell on my clothes. And, but anyway, it is what it is, and we spent many hours at one of those things. And I hate, Steve, I don't know about safety, I hate it. It's just-
No.
We're not gonna get anybody that can replace Steve Barker, y'all. I've worked with him, he's as professional as he comes. He has a funeral home, but he will never mention that, he will never mention that he has a funeral home. I have seen him handle these things very professionally with the family. That never comes up, some of them know it, a lot of them know it. But he never brings that up, it's always, where would you like for the body to be taken? And he's very professional, he has chewed my rear end out many times, because he's been to school, he knows what he's doing. A lot of coroners don't really care that much about what happened to that person. This man does, he wants to know what happened. He doesn't want anything tampered with until he is there where he can see the scene and do his own estimate of it, and I like that. I appreciate that. I appreciate the professional way that he conducts himself and his staff. I don't know what we'll do, I can tell you right now, you're not gonna replace him. He went to school, he's been to crime scene investigation school in Little Rock, he's been to death investigation. And, not too many corners in rural counties have done that. My hat's off to you, I appreciate you, I respect you, and, it's gonna be hard to replace you if we're not able to reach some sort of negotiated agreement, that, you don't know what he does until you have been with him.
Well, and I've had people say, well, you get mileage. In the last 30 months, I've been given less than $1,800 for mileage. It's hard to make a car payment, upkeep on one, for that kind of money.
But don't you turn mileage in for every time you go pick up a body? No?
No, cause some calls, we don't have to go on. Sometimes it's notifications, but there's a lot of calls that don't ever get turned into your office. That's just the ones that we do roll tires on. So we don't have mileage on every call. But we still got paperwork and everything else that we gotta do on it.
But then why wouldn't you turn the mileage in? I mean, you have mileage in your budget. You've got office supply, I mean, you turn
If
in.
I get a call from Eagle Crest on a hospice call, then that's just a notification. I'm not gonna turn in 44 miles if I don't go. That would be
Well, you
illegal, I would,
shouldn't.
why?
If you don't go,
Well, that's what I say, I'm not gonna turn it in if I don't go.
right.
Yeah.
But you do turn it in when you go.
Yeah.
We're paying you now for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have office supplies, and you have a phone expense, and, so, I mean, you've got a budget. I mean, I don't know how much more, maybe you don't ask enough in your budget, I don't know. That's, you're the one, do you not turn your own budget in?
Yeah, in the past, I've just kinda went with whatever was there. But,
Understand? I mean,
mhm.
we kinda all do that.
So question, I'm sorry, I just lost that question.
Well, I have one then.
Go right ahead.
Here's what I'm doing. So if it weren't you, if somebody else was the coroner,
That was the question.
what do you think it would take to equip a funeral home to do their job plus the coroner's job? I mean, what additional, would you need another building just for those bodies that you have to bring in?
Well, you know, I've got a detached garage that I sometimes, if the weather allows me, I can move a body there. Otherwise, they're in my cooler. But, other funeral home, it just depends on what equipment they have.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing this for 39 years. I've got quite a bit of equipment.
I mean, in an ideal situation, because we don't know who, if you retire, who the next coroner will be, what they would need. So what kind of equipment do you think they would need?
You gotta have coolers, cots,
Now, when you say a cot, I'm assuming you're not talking about a sleeping cot. It's
no, a cot just like an ambulance has.
Okay,
And one's not enough, you need 2 or 3
so it would be a cot that would go into
in the back of the car, yes.
the back of the car, something like a hearse or a station wagon of some sort? Maybe
Uh,
a long cart.
From my experience, it needs to be a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Some of the places we go, you couldn't get a station wagon. And we gotta go wherever the scene is.
So it would need to be a covered truck,
SUV,
maybe, or
Probably,
Okay.
I've always used Suburbans.
Suburbans.
okay.
And, a pickup truck, you could possibly say that, but in the middle of the summer, if you don't have it where it's air conditioned, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So, that was the line on my question there. Is there somebody, you know, not saying you're old, honey, please forgive me.
I did reach social security age the other day.
Is there somebody that gonna take over your funeral home, do that, operate that? Would they be something going to the coroner's part?
Right now, my employee is a deputy coroner. He's been certified and trained just like I have.
And this is
But-
at $3,000 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is what your, the first bill?
That's one of them, yes.
Okay, and that's it.
No, I still want my salary.
Well, yeah, well, of course,
And
but that's
the-
just the additional.
the other side of that, every time he's ever went on a call, in the deputy coroner's position, he's on my money. He There's no salary for a deputy coroner. That's on my dime.
That's the reason why I'm trying to get
Mhm.
down to the nitty gritty on the money wise.
Yep.
And how big is is your budget now that you have?
My total,
I don't have it with me. so-
total budget's about $20,000.
Total budget is 20,000.
This $3,000 a month, Steve, and that would cover, you'd still use your own,
That would be me providing everything.
pretty much like you do
You
now.
know, the only thing I have, like I said, that belongs to the county is a cooler and one cot. And back to what you said, as far as if the day comes, somebody comes and writes me a check and buys me out, then it would have to be readdressed unless whoever comes in happens to get in the coroner's position, then they might carry on. But
So all you're
That's
asking
an
for is just
elected
increasing
position.
And that's what I thought.
basically,
See, if you.
That's
so-
one
so-
of the
so-
opposi-
so if
one of
you
the
put it on
propositions.
20,
Yeah.
just increasing the 16,000,
Nobody-
36.
No, it'd be
Additional
up to
36.
56,000.
Additional 36,
It'd be a- it'd be
plus with his
56,000.
salary.
Basically renting a corner facility.
And where I come up with some of my figures, I've got a good friend just north of us here in Oregon County, Tom Clary, who's been coroner up there longer than I have here. And he's doing basically the same thing, and he's getting 4,000 a month. I thought that was a little much. I didn't ask for that.
I know Mr. Clary really well.
Mhm.
He's a good man. But with all the is this something that we could, if we decide on this to effect, do we have the money to be able to do that?
I didn't necessarily come for an answer tonight. I just wanted Joel to have the information and let me know.
Well, if we could look over this and the budget and kind of see how to work this out, that'd be
Okay?
good, if we could have it next month.
If I could, come back next forum court meeting.
That would be great.
That would be, that'd be great.
I've got the coroner's budget is $24,337.55.
It's on your summary budget. I have to look at it, but in the clerk's report.
First page all the way down to the bottom.
So I'm taking the 60,337.
Well, no, cause some of that would be wiped out.
Yeah.
All the
we
stuff on the
really couldn't
bottom.
Put it under salary, cause it's gonna be more or less like you're renting the building and
The,
service facilities.
the only thing that would still come out of the budget is my salary and the health insurance, correct? The other stuff would be rolled into that first proposition. I would cover all that, phone and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Cheaper than building a car and all that, you know? Somewhere down the line, we're still gonna have to address it, because Steve's not gonna be the county forever, he's gonna retire someday.
So how much are you asking for, besides what's on your budget already? Like those
It would be,
Yeah.
It's 36.
36,000. The present budget plus 36,000.
it would be about 31,000, I think, extra.
At 3,000 per month. it needs to be.
Well, because about 5,000 of that is stuff that's on my budget now. Phone,
Okay,
some supplies and stuff is listed on there now.
okay.
That would just be,
So it's salary plus the 36.
mhm.
Okay.
give us a month and come back and see us.
Okay. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're all right.
All right, next up would be, Joanna Defoe. Miss Joanna.
Well, good evening, y'all. I am one of your election commissioners, and this last week, we've been testing our little voting machines, which took 8 days, because we still have 2 down, Vicki, and in fact, one just crashed on me today. So, with that said, voting has already started today, and I continue on. I gave you these little flyers to put out at your post office, anywhere, make copies. I have it sitting in our post office in Glencoe, and you can't put them up in the post office, because I already asked permission. And it tells you early vote, and early vote is here, this annex. The early vote is in Mammoth Springs on Friday and Saturday of this, end of this week. And, those are the early.
Next week,
Pardon me?
the early vote up there is next week.
Yeah, next week, excuse me, yeah, I got week, yeah, next week. So, anyway, get out and vote, and tell your constituents to get out and vote. To give you an idea on our LA testing, which it has to be done according to the rules and regulations of Arkansas and federal, we have 28 ballot precincts. That means each precinct, we've had a run for 9 people that are running for president, for the Republican Party, 6 for the Democratic Party. We have Congress, we have JPs, we have to run each individual of that. Hopefully, next year, when I take it over, because Yonica is retiring this year, and I've talked to the clerks about, the office about it, Pam, and they're in agreement that 7 days was a little too long, and we did it, 8 hours here at the annex. So we're gonna crush those numbers down, and we'll spot check, that's all I can put it. We'll come up with a way to do it like the other counties are doing it. It takes them 1 day. We have 7 days, 8 days. We just got 2 machines over there to do. And out of those one machine, 544 ballots came out of there. That's a lot of money to spend on those little paper ballots that we put in the machine, or paper cards. And the time that we allocated, 6 people to help us, and to pay their salary to come in and help us do the LA testing this year. So hopefully we can get it trimmed down and do it efficiently and less cost involved in it. And that's what I'm hoping to do. On the DS200, that is the machines you actually vote on. We have 37 machines throughout the county, which some of them are already done and crashed, obviously. And we have 5 out that crashed, and then out of those 5, we had 2 that were left. 1 today just went down on me, and then we have 2 still left that are not, and that needs to be fixed. ES&S is very slow getting up in our area to fix the machines. They were here last Wednesday. He tried to fix the ones that we have the same problems, same issues, feeding the card in and into the machine. But all is going well as far as that. It's been very time consuming on the LA testing, and we want to open up, we haven't opened up to the public. We wish you JPs would come and watch us. No, seriously, so you know what it takes to test these machines, because it's a very elaborate process. And so you know how to talk to your constituents. Ask questions, for people ask questions. There is not a modem in the machine. They opened 2 of the machines, I'm gonna tell you that right now. They opened 2 of the machines on the floor, and I looked inside. There's 3 motherboards, which have devices on them. They're like 6-pin 8-pin, the highest was a 28-pin device. Some of them I recognize, they're Logic devices. Logic is a very low end key to the technical field, and all it does is run the machine, run the software program, that's all it does. It doesn't collect any information, it doesn't do anything but do what it's supposed to do, function. And yes, you heard the devices are made in China. Well, the company I used to work for, I didn't know they had, I knew Hong Kong had a TI plant there, but I didn't know China had a TI plant until the last 6 months ago. And, but yes, they make the devices here, they design the devices here, they ship it overseas, they put it in the little plastic containers, they put it, the device together, the pins, and then they ship it back here on the motherboards, and then they test it here in the States.
So they are made in China.
Pardon me?
So they are coming from China.
No, the device itself,
Well, how come we have to send it to China?
because it's cheaper labor over there to put stuff together. They work 12 to 14 hours, where we only work 8 hours here. I know, I've been overseas. And they took the
I
little
want
chip,
American made.
yeah, the little chip is, put them in over there, and then they put them on the motherboard, they come back here, they're QA tested in the plants, in Hewlett Packard, IBM, Motorola, TI, or any of those
How come
companies.
we can't get USA? How come we can't do all that in USA?
There's no companies left.
Because they all went to China.
Yeah. You could thank our government for that. Anyway, we're set up all over the world, all these corporations are set up. So I just wanted to let you know up front, I did actually look at the machine itself on the inside and the 3 motherboards and the devices. There is no modem. I did not see a modem one in that machine, and I stand it pretty good.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
And some people even voted today.
Yes, we had 48
Got a
people.
sticker on.
Yeah. We had 48 people voted today.
Right, one last thing. Arkansas Division of Emergency Management is a state administrative agency, has recently received an award from the Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency, received grant program director for the state and local cybersecurity grant program. They've awarded us a grant of $68,292, and I've elected to let the state administer that and take care of everything. And so that's that.
What will that be used for?
Well, for securing our computer systems and for doing anti-virus and phishing and phishing or whatever you call it there, and that. And that is, man, that's all I have. So I will accept the motion.
I thought,
Yes, we got public, any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, if that's it. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I think we adjourn.
Okay. Adjourn.